Spencer Lazara, MMAinterviews.tv. It's fight week for World Series of Fighting 4. I'm alongside Josh Burkman. Came out to support, obviously not fighting on this one, still recovering, in fact, from your hand. Talk about what you're doing out here.
I'm just out here helping out with the World Series of Fighting 4. You know, the president, WSOF, he's fighting, as everybody knows. And so I came out to do some PR, help out with Boost Mobile, do some signings, go visit the soldiers, and just help out with kind of like the acting president, but not.
There you have it. I mean, talk about how that was, visiting the guys down here at Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, I've been visiting the soldiers for about a week now. And Camp Pendleton was kind of the end of that, and that was the Wounded Warriors. And, going and visiting with the soldiers at Camp Pendleton and the Wounded Warriors, it was good because you saw that it helped the morale of the place. A lot of guys, missing leg, shrapnel going through their hand, taking off a part of their face. You really see, what these soldiers are going through and how it affects them. So it's nice to be able to go and help give them a little, boost in morale. And, also, it's interesting when they tell you, hey, I watched you fight in Iraq. Hey, I watched you fight in Afghanistan. Thank you. And it's very humbling to have soldiers that are putting their lives on the line. Thank you for entertaining them through your fighting when they're putting their lives on the line for our freedoms and our liberties. And it's nice to be able to go out, give thanks, and just, do what you can to boost their morale.
Definitely puts things in perspective a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Been enjoying your time off, spending time with the family. I know you had a short little vacation there, and talk about, what you've been doing.
Yeah, since the fight with Fitch, I really just, take time off to get balance back in life. I injured my hand in that fight. I tore the tendon in my finger, extensor tendon. So I've been flipping everybody off, giving elbows, can't shake any hands. And, just really, I fought 4 times last year. And so it was a busy year. And just kind of reconnecting to everything and letting it all process. And really, but I'm still training, still staying in shape and getting ready for, what's next, which will be October 26th.
Yeah, how are you staying active? Of course, you can't be punching and you can't be doing certain things, but I guess you can kick, you can run, you can lift a little bit of weights.
A little bit of weights, yeah. I just do what I can. I really have been focusing on kicking. I went and looked at YouTube and found some old karate exercises and Superfoot Wallace, and he does a bunch of warm-ups and knee things and stretches and kicks, and hour-long kicking workouts, old karate style things. And so, anytime you get an injury, you can work on something else, and that's what I try to do. I've been doing a lot of running because this next fight's going to be a 25-minute fight. This will be my first 5-round fight in my career. So I've just been doing a lot of long runs, trying to get my endurance up, because that conditioning and the peaking for the fight will come in training camp. I know how to fight. I know how to punch. I know how to, that sparring will come in training camp. But right now I'm just trying to heal my body, stay safe, and train smart.
Of course, Steve Carl is the guy you will be fighting. Talk about that matchup.
Well, Steve Carl is the guy we think, right? No contract yet.
Okay.
It hasn't been done, but, that's what it seems like it's going to be. You heard it here first on MMA interviews. So, it looks like it's going to be Steve Carl. And if it is Steve Carl, then that's a very interesting matchup for me. He's won, I think maybe 6 fights in a row, maybe all in the first round. It seems like he's found his flow and his niche, and if that's the fight that I get, and I think Steve Carl deserves it. I think he's proved himself, and I'll be excited for that fight and very ready for it. I definitely won't be underestimating Steve Carl. He's been in my locker room, both of his fights, and I can see that he's found something that is very unique in his style, and he's very confident, and you can't ever underestimate that.
Definitely has that confidence. Obviously, moving on to this card now. We've got a great main event, Tyrone Spong taking on Andre Deonda. I mean, it's always fun when you see that guy getting in there and throwing some bombs.
It's nice to see Deonda get his chance finally. And so, he knows that this guy can fight, and is well-rounded too, I guess. But with Tyrone Spong, we're all excited to just see how he transitions that dynamic kickboxing style into MMA, and I'm really interested in that fight, and the Ray Sefa fight in. That's pretty cool that the president's fighting and going out there to put it on the line. And they've done a good job with this card.
Yeah, yet another kickboxer, moving into MMA here and seeing what he can do. I know Ray's been working hard on his wrestling actually, so it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. You've got a welterweight matchup. We were just talking to Gerald. He's taking on
Jorge Santiago.
George Santiago, man. Yes, very good fight there. What do you see happening in that one?
I'm excited. After our fight, me and Gerald Harris, he kind of mentioned that he wanted the microphone. He was going to try to retire, and I think Gerald Harris has a lot of good fights in front of him. So he seems pretty upbeat and excited about this fight. And I really think Gerald Harris could get on a couple wins in a row, and we might end up, seeing each other down the road. So I'm glad to see that he's back in, and he was on a nice win streak before me and him fought, and I would expect to see him get on another win streak.
Yeah, he was able to go the distance with you there, even though you got your hand raised.
Right. Yeah, that was a tough fight, and I knew it was going to be, and and after that Harris fight, it was a change for me where I was like, okay, I've come back, I've beat a good fighter, now I can put it on the line a little bit more. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes back, if he's going to be aggressive, if he's going to sit back. I'm more excited for that fight than any of the other ones, especially because it's in my weight class. But the other fight, Tyson Griffin against Cavalcante, yeah, that's going to be a great fight too. It'll be interesting to see how Tyson Griffin comes back after being, cut from the UFC, and does he come back better motivated to be in the World Series of Fighting, or is it more of a downhill type of thing? Because Jay-Z, he's going to be ready. He's going to be real ready for
I'm
this
sure
fight.
Tyson's getting his wrestling up there at AKA and a new group. I think maybe that will re-energize him a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I would think so. Moving training camps and doing things like that, always looking to evolve your game definitely keeps you ahead.
And the other interesting thing, of course, is Nick Newell. It's such a crazy story and pretty awesome guy. I love his energy and his witty humor. So I'm excited to see him get in there and compete, man.
Yeah, he's been traveling. He went to Camp Pendleton with us, and it was neat to see him and the soldiers react to him. With being born without his lower arm, and being able to compete in wrestling like he did, and being an undefeated mixed martial artist. It's an amazing story. It's an inspirational story to anybody that knows it. And if you don't know his story, you should go out and read about him and see what this kid's done, because he's 9-0, and I watched him do a little training the other day, and it's pretty incredible how he's kind of cultivated his style of martial arts with that arm that he has, which a lot of people look as a disadvantage, and he's definitely made it an advantage for him in the way that he does things.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in some ways can be a disadvantage, but undoubtedly is an advantage as well.
Right.
Yeah, and I think he has done a good job at using that to capitalizing on those things that make him an advantage.
We got a punching machine, right? Have you seen the punching machine that the World Series of Fighting's carrying around? You pull it down and you hit it and you see what your number is, and he pulled it down and he's throwing elbows with that thing. Everybody's like, you can throw elbows, and you know what I mean? So he's got some tricks,
He throws it quick, man.
Yeah, real quick, and I think he got like 780. So there's some power in that too. So very, very cool story, and it's neat that the World Series of Fighting signed him, and I'm hoping that he does real well.
Definitely excited for this card this Saturday night. Anything else you want to say, Josh?
No, just thanks to you guys. You know what I mean? Thanks to the World Series of Fighting. I really think that this show's starting to make an impact, and I think it's going to be around for quite a while now. Signed a cornerstone deal with Boost Mobile. NBC Sports is behind it more than ever, and I expect this show to be one of the best shows yet. So just make sure to tune in and check it out.
Definitely. NBC Sports Network this Saturday night, and of course Josh will be in action the October show, October 26th, at a yet to be determined location.